Ah, no gimmicks.
We're back. We're back. And this is Dungeons of the Endless. That's an explanation of what Dungeons of the Endless even is. It's a new video series that I guess I might start doing regularly because I've actually seen a lot of cases of people buying this game, right? And they actually have no idea what they bought. You know, they just bought it for some reason, which is weird. I guess they just looked at it, bought it, they get it, and they're like, this isn't Diablo, you know? I don't know. So, this is going to be an explanation of what the hell this game is, how does it play, what's the point, you know? How do you win, whatever. So, first off, it's Dungeons of the Endless, so it's set in the Endless universe, like Endless Space or Endless Legend. Both of those games, Endless Universe. So they all kind of intertwine. This is like the prequel to all of them, and there's like started out in space. If you played the game or watched the trailer or whatever, and you're like a prison ship, you crash into a planet. That planet is the planet from Endless Legend, and there is a faction, the Vaulters, which are the people who ended up in this hive dungeon inside the planet, you know, the vaults, and they get out and they win Endless Legend, I guess, and then they get back into space and they're in Endless Space. So that's the, you know, that's the whole thing. That's how it's all linked together. So if you really like the Endless universe, it's all linked together. There's lots of story, and the release version of this game is actually going to have way more story and background and all types of fun stuff to unlock. So I don't know, check that out. So now we get into it. What the hell is this game, right? It is a roguelike tower defense with hero leveling, RPG style, items for, like, you can equip items, you'll find items, and a 4X style resource management system with permadeath. That's what it is. So it's like a tower. It really is all those things. So you have your heroes, they can level up, they can find equip items, they have abilities, active abilities, passive abilities, and yeah. Then you have the resource management of the FIDS, which is like dust, science, right? Food, industry. I said that. FIDS. It's food, industry, dust, science. Yeah, there we go. FIDS. And that's from all there. That's what they made. They made 4X games. Endless Space. Endless Legend is a more traditional, more like a civilization, I guess, type 4X game. And you really have to manage all those resources, just like a 4X game. You have to use science is for research, food is for leveling up your heroes and stuff. Industry is for building all your stuff, and dust powers your rooms and other things. It can do other things, but they're specific things. But it's used for powering your rooms, which is very important in the first place. All right, how does it control? Because a lot of reviews are like, oh, it feels clunky, whatever. You don't. It's not like a one-for-one. You're not like controlling your guy with a controller, hitting the attack button and slashing monsters. It's a lot more like FTL. FTL, the goddamn pioneer, right? It just came out of nowhere, and everyone's like, look at this masterpiece, FTL. All right, so in FTL, if you tell, you know, your guy to go into a room, obviously you sent him there for a reason, and you know when he gets there, he is going to do whatever it is you sent him to do. So if you send him in there, and he's, you know, there's monsters in there, there's mobs in there, he's gonna fight them. If you sent him in there and you just want him to repair something, he's gonna repair it. You sent him in there and he's gonna operate something, he's gonna operate it. So it's the same way. You click your hero or your squad of heroes, and you send them to a room, or you open a door and they go into a room, and they will interact with everything in that room in order of monsters, picking up items, operating modules, repairing modules, whatever. So it's more of a tactical style, like you click your guy, you tell him to go this way. When he gets there, he's going to do things. You can have a more hands-on approach. You can activate his abilities. You can send him some backup. You can retreat him to a room with more defenses, whatever. But you're not directly, it's not fucking Mass Effect. I don't know. You're not directly controlling your boys. More like FTL. Imagine in FTL if you, instead of jumping from, place to place, you zoomed in and your ship, every time you opened a door, it was like you were taking a jump, right? You were jumping. So it's like you open a door and that's when the event, the randomization and the roguelike stuff happens. You open a door and monsters can show up. There could be an item inside. There can be resources. There can be free dust. There can be a new hero that you can find. Whatever. A store. But that's more how it works. Let's see. What are we up to? Progression. There we go. Progression. Roguelike games now have lots of progression, so you don't feel like you're wasting your time playing the game. You play the game for an hour and a half, you're right before the end, you die, you get nothing. That's not how it works. In this game, you're going to be unlocking lore, pictures in the full release, and if you hate that stuff, I don't know. I think that's cool because they don't really make games where you unlock a ton of shit anymore. That's kind of nice, but even better, you unlock all these heroes to start with, and all these different ships to crash into the planet with. Now, all the heroes play pretty differently. They all get their own active abilities. They all are animated differently. They all do different things. They all have different stats, base stats. So they all have their own specific type of item sets that they can use. So that's pretty cool. And they all interact with each other differently too. So that's pretty sick. Because there's guards. This is a prison ship, so there's guards and prisoners. So they interact with each other a little differently. Now, in the beginning, unless release is different, you only start with one ship. It's the basic ship. It doesn't do anything special. And you start with a small handful of heroes. There's 18 of them in the game or something like that. You start with 4. You might start with 6. I have no idea. Release is today, so in a couple hours I'll know. But so you start with just one basic ship that does nothing special, and then a couple heroes. All the ships change the game, the way the game plays, almost completely. There's a ship that makes it endless, like a dungeon that's completely endless, a drill ship. There's infirmary, which is, I guess you crash somehow in a medical pod, and it changes all the items and all your heroes. It's more about a hero-centric build. They all have more health and stuff. There's the armory, where all your heroes are jacked and have lots of weapons, and so you can't build tower defenses. It changes the game a lot. So there's lots of different ways to play, and you don't only have to tower defense. You can play more focused on leveling up heroes. If you focus on food, depending on what you build, because you're allowed to build buildings for each thing. You can build a building in a room. I didn't even describe how the game actually works. I'm trying to really describe if you saw the game, how does it even handle. But now I'll describe I guess how it actually plays. How do you win? How do you kill the mobs? How do you get through the game? So go into a room, you use your dust. If you have dust, you power the room and you build modules. As you'll see, I'm holed up in rooms, and they're covered in all these things that I built, all these defenses. So that's the tower defense part. Ta-da! And you can always build, if you have a center module piece, you can build either something that will give you more industry, more science, or more food. And that depends on either the type of items you're finding, or maybe Mad Loud, let's do this. Either on the type of RNG you're having, or maybe your playstyle. Maybe you pick certain heroes that you know are really tough or do a lot of damage, and you just build lots of food generators, and just level up and have tons of like food for healing them in combat and all types of stuff. So yeah, it's all about play styles. It offers, a lot of different ways to play. So yeah, I think that's good. You open a door, an event will happen. Maybe it'll be a good event, maybe it'll be monsters spawning. If there are rooms that you don't have powered, monsters have a chance to spawn from those rooms, so it's always good to have lots of rooms powered. And then you either tower defense, because a horde will come, and until you deal with that horde of monsters, they'll just, you just deal with the horde of monsters. And then after that, you open another door, do it again. You got 12 floors of that. The playtime is kind of similar to FTL also, because FTL was kind of like their base design idea. They were like, how can we make something that's, more endless universe, but like almost like FTL, where your heroes kind of control the same way. So the playtime's kind of like 2 hours-ish if you're gonna beat it in one sitting. It's a really hard game, so you may not ever beat it, just like some roguelikes. Some people get the Binding of Isaac and they've never gotten to the end. A lot of people, Nuclear Throne is really hard. It's never gotten, a lot of people have never gotten to the end of that. And I mean, I die. If you're watching the background video, I fucking get ripped. I get run the fuck over. So yeah, it's a pretty hard game. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it, but that has nothing to do with this video, so it doesn't matter. So hopefully, we'll go over a few key points again, because I like to go over things, because I ramble. So we'll go over some stuff, but hopefully you watch this video and you go, oh, that's what it is. It's not the Binding of Isaac, it's Dungeon of the Endless. Alright, so, set in the Endless Universe. Obviously, it is a roguelike tower defense, hero leveling with items, and 4-time style resource management with permadeath. You control your heroes, kinda more similar to FTL, where you tell them to go, and they'll go do it. That's it, you're done. It's not a hands-on thing. You go, tell them, get in there, and they'll get in there. You tell them, get out, they'll get out. Tell them to get in there, and there's monsters, they'll go deal with them, whatever. You got 4 times resource management to deal with. You got your fids, and you open a door, an event will happen. There are some rooms, if some rooms are unpowered, events will happen in there, and the only events that can happen in rooms that are unpowered is monster spawn. So you keep things powered, then you open a door, maybe you get some items, maybe you get new heroes, maybe you find a store, whatever. And yeah, it's got, you go up. You're down in like a hive dungeon, kind of like Resident Evil 1. You know how like you go into a mansion and all of a sudden you're like in a fucking science facility below it? It's like that. You start at the bottom, you're going up, you're trying to get to the 12th floor to get out, and I guess you'll end up on the planet Auriga from Endless Legend, and it'll probably be sick. And I'm gonna try and get, actually beat it, get some footage of that this week, because it comes out in about, well, they said 3 to 5 hours from now, from me recording this video. So it should be out today at some point. And hopefully at something I said in this video made sense, and you understand what this game is, and that it's not Path of Exile or something, right? Alright, so this is the newest series, an explanation of a game for people who are like, the fuck? But don't want a review, because I'm not giving reviews anyway. I'll just, this is what the game does. If you like what this game does, then you should get it. So this is Dungeon of the Endless, explained. I'm Jeff, it's No Gimmick Gaming, and see you guys next time. Peace out.